Welcome everyone to TJ Speaks. I have a wonderful show for you all today. Uh, Recently, um, we have in the news that the Supreme Court will be making another decision on affirmative action. Here we go again, folks. Here we go again. New players, same game. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, today's date, excuse me. Today's date is June 13th, 2023. Okay, so now affirmative action. This is a new case being brought up by a young man. I believe his name is John Wang. He is complaining that as an Asian American, he is a victim from affirmative action, that somehow affirmative action um, lessen his chance to be in an elite college. Okay, first of all, um, this is one of my most favorite topics because this is something that I feel a lot of Black leaders shy away from. And they shy away from this topic because of ignorance. All right, which is going to lead me to my first banner of today. Here's the thing: Asian Americans benefit from affirmative action. I would like to say this again. Asian Americans, or Asians, I wouldn't necessarily call a lot of them Americans because remember, their parents were non citizens and they claim to get some type of constitutional right without being a citizen. So you guys know how I feel about that birthright citizenship being, which is a constitutional right, being extended to non-citizens and illegal immigrants. And so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm gonna call them Asians. They benefit from affirmative action. Okay, that's the thing that a lot of people, because Black people are not included in this conversation. All right. So a lot of people make that assumption, oh, affirmative actions for Black people. Affirmative actions for Black people. Wrong. Wrong again. And yet everyone calls Black people the stupid people, right? These idiots have taken a case all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they don't even realize that Asians are minorities. Asians are minorities, and Asians count as a part of the minority population in the school, minority admissions. Okay, this is what happens when you think. Well, first of all, you're not American. A lot of them aren't. Okay, and then you think you know it all. You done told yourself. You done come over to America, broke in the country, overstayed your visa, and done told yourself you know every goddamn thing. And what's the truth? What is the truth? The truth is there is no law exclusively for Black Americans, foundational Black Americans. There is no law. We don't have affirmative action exclusively for Black Americans, or nor do we have any reparations. Okay? It was intended, at the time affirmative action was written, it was intended to rectify the wrongs against Black American people. But you know how politics are. You know, we all know what happened. The term Black American got erased, and instead they added the word minorities. Minorities. Affirmative action is for minorities, not Black Americans. Now, can somebody else please define the word minority? Who's included in minority? I'll define it. Asians included as a minority. Hispanics are included as a minority. White women is included as a minority, and any other race other than a white man. So all of these groups are benefiting from the affirmative action that was intended for Black Americans. But yet America was so nasty and so racist. They never paid reparations. So they give us this bogus civil rights legislation that never included the word Black people, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, descendants of American slaves. They kept that language and those words out, and they opened the doors so that other races of people can benefit from our suffering. Here we go again. And this is part of the reason why foundational Black Americans, ADOS, is demanding reparations. We're demanding reparations. We are demanding redress. Nothing in this country, no law is exclusively for Black Americans, descendants of American slaves. 500 years in America, many hundreds of years of being lynched, denied equal citizenship, and Asians get a hate crime bill. Asians received a hate crime bill after all the hundreds of years of Black foundational Americans suffering. And now here we go again with the second or third attempt at the Supreme Court to take down affirmative action, which barely benefits Black American descendants of slaves. Barely. I don't even feel that we have any benefit, because Harvard and all of the elite colleges only admit 1%. 1% of their school population are descendants of American slaves. 1%. And all of those institutions of elite higher learning, alleged higher learning, are all former slave owners. All of them benefited from slavery. None of them wanted to admit the descendants of American slaves. That's why they always allow the foreign students, the international students in the school, they prefer them over the descendants of American slaves. So there's a Pacific hatred towards the foundational Black Americans. Okay? So, like I said, there is no law exclusively for Black Americans, but because the Black Americans are excluded out of the conversation, we're told to sit down and shut up. We got all these white people and Asian people running around thinking that they're doing something. Oh, we got those Black people now. We got them now. They are so ignorant and so full of their own bullshit. They are so stupid. They can't even read the word minority. You taking Black Americans to court over affirmative action, and the motherfucking law says minority. And guess who's in the minority? Asians. So how the hell are Asians benefiting from affirmative action and also suing affirmative action for discrimination? How the fuck does that happen? How does that happen? You know, you have to be real goddamn special. This is stupid. Spending millions of dollars on a bullshit Supreme Court case, and you the motherfucking minority. Dumbass. You the minority. Your numbers are quadruple the Black numbers. And yet, you didn't endure no Jim Crow. No, Jim Crow was written exclusively for Black Americans, not Asians. Asians receive reparations, not Blacks. Asians got a hate crime bill, not Blacks. Oh, yeah, that's right. Asians are also bribing Joe Biden. President Joe Biden get bribed. That's right. Okay, so this needs to be very much highlighted because this is all so ridiculously stupid, focusing on Black people, Black Americans, as if this country actually wrote a law exclusively for Black Americans. And that is why the descendants of American slaves is demanding reparations. We are demanding redress. We want something exclusively for us. We are tired of being a carpet for everyone else. First, the white immigrants used us to make money. Then the immigrants of color used us for birthright citizenship and affirmative action benefits. No one else endured it, but you sure enough included everyone in it. No one else, but they all got included. Native Americans are minorities. So give me a damn break. But you know what happens in this lawsuit? And the main problem that I see in this Supreme Court lawsuit by John Wang and Dumbass Company is that it only singles out Black Americans when the word is for minorities. And if you look at the college admissions, the Asians is the #1 minority in the damn college, followed by Hispanics, then followed by the poor Black people, and that's mostly Africans from foreign countries. That's not even descendants of slaves. So the descendants of slaves are not getting a goddamn thing from none of this. That's why many Black people don't give a damn about affirmative action, because we're not benefiting from it. We suffered. We suffered in the civil rights. We had the dogs on us. We had the firemen. We enjoyed the lynching. But sure enough, everybody else benefited, especially the Asian. But Black only singled out Black Americans as if we have a law exclusively for us. And that's what's wrong with this whole Supreme Court lawsuit. And I'm surprised even got this far. All these so-called intelligent people, and they can't realize that the law says minority, not Black American. And when they do their legal brief, they keep mentioning the Black American name as if we got exclusive law, which we do not. This proves that this Supreme Court lawsuit is racist. All these other groups are considered minorities. White women, minority. Asian, minority. Hispanic, minority. Native American, minority. But in this Supreme Court lawsuit, only Blacks are singled out. Black Americans. Only Black Americans are singled out. And that's the problem. And that's why I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I would like to see how stupid the Supreme Court can get. Because this case shouldn't even, if I was in the Supreme Court, I would throw it out. Because man, sir, you are a minority, sir. You sure enough, all the Asians go down to collect minority business loans. They got a hate crime bill as a minority group. Ha ha ha. But when it comes to college, they think they some type of special intelligent people that they somehow got into college on their merit. But you're right, you're getting minority benefits everywhere you go. You collecting minority business loans, you get minority hate crime bills, and you are minority affirmative action hires on the job as well. The job count you as a minority so they can make sure they don't give it to the Black Americans who are the real victims of discrimination. The real victims are not getting anything. That's why they included the word minority, to discriminate against Black Americans. They didn't want to give Black Americans redress. And this year, 2023, over 500 years in America, to this day, the descendants of slaves, foundational Black Americans, have not received any redress for slavery or civil rights. Affirmative action was intended for us, but at the end of the day, it was not written for us. It says the word minority. And then the U.S. government allowed all of these illegal immigrants and visa overstayers to flood our borders. They released all of these student visas and travel visas to third world countries so they can have immigrants of color come in and claim minority. Wow, what a coincidence. We finally end Jim Crow. We finally get the Civil Rights Act. And bang, a flood of illegal immigrants and immigrants of color come to America on a student visa and never leave. They get the affirmative action. They start collecting constitutional rights, birthright citizenship, the whole 9 yards. They even made one of their kids vice president. And Kamala Harris told you people, her parents from Asia watched the black kids trying to get into the college. But nobody's paying attention to the fact the colleges were more than willing to let the immigrants and the Asians in the college. They just hated a pacific hatred towards the descendants of slaves, foundational Black Americans. They rather everybody benefit, just not us, except us. Everyone, this country is not racist to anyone else. They let everybody in. Everybody can make money. Everybody can use slave history. Everybody can use the slaves. Everyone can use the slaves. Just not the descendants of slaves. Anybody but them. And that's the policy that has been going on in America for the last, I would say 60 years since civil rights. It's the anybody but them policy. Look what they're doing in Chicago and all over. Look what they did in California. Displaced all of the American citizens, the Black American citizens, and replaced them with illegal immigrants and made the Black American citizens pay for illegal activity. They are forcing us to pay taxes to support illegal immigration, a crime, a federal crime. We got to pay taxes as Black Americans to support a federal crime. And you tell me this country is not racist? No, this country is intentional with the racism. See, I may have a lot of conservative views, but at the end of the day, I'm Black. And I recognize the struggles of being a Black American descendants of slaves. I realize this country is not racist to other people of color. It's just me. They hate us. All of a sudden, they throw away every rule of law. They allow non-citizens to take us to the Supreme Court using our name, and the law was not even written for us because we're living in a very racist society. And this racist society includes not just white people, the immigrants of color too. All them other groups of people of color that want to throw dirt on the foundational Black America's name. Because this country, America, has made us a slave for everybody. Telling us, Chicago mayor, telling us, oh, we need to serve the migrants. Serve the migrants. We serve. Excuse you, sir? This coming from another Black man. Serve. We don't do serving. Every man fends for himself. Okay? And so that's the problem with the Supreme Court case. I think it's an absolute joke. It actually displays the racism in America because you're fighting a law saying, oh, it's benefiting Black Americans, but Black Americans is not even included in the law. The word Black Americans is not in the law. But all of these dumbass people, white and Asian, sorry to say, is thinking they want something. They think, oh yeah, we got them now. Don't worry about affirmative action. Y'all need to pay these reparations. Y'all don't have to worry about affirmative action. Pay them damn reparations and we good. We don't need affirmative action. Black people want reparations. All right? We want reparations, folks. And I will say that all day and every day because it's true. You never did any redress to the descendants of American slaves. We never got any redress. We never got any reparations. The affirmative action that was supposed to rectify it, it wasn't even written for us. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So anyway, that's all I have to say as far as the Supreme Court case. I think it's an absolute joke. I think everyone running around claiming they elite colleges from Ivy League, Harvard, they can't even define the word minority. They can't, they're not reading the law. They're just going off of straight up racism. The Asians and the whites assume that it's for black people, but when you actually read the law and when you actually look at the results of affirmative actions, it is the Asian benefit and the Hispanic benefit and the white women benefit. They have not not blacks. Blacks ain't even in the school. You gave minority benefits to so many different groups. The group that it was intended for never benefited from affirmative action. Never did. Only 1%. And this guy, he's crying about not getting accepted to Ivy League. Boo hoo, motherfucking who. You will swear to God there's no Asians in the damn school. Half the school is Asian. So maybe he just didn't measure up. Maybe something wrong with him. Maybe he's a serial killer. Maybe it's something about this guy that, the school just didn't like. Whatever his interview was, he just didn't cut the mustard. But they allowed this racist man, John Wang, to run around the United States and do his racist talk about black Americans, calling the black Americans kids stupid, assuming that he knows everything about them and why the very few got admitted. He's just making assumptions. He's not even proving that the black students took a seat from him. How do you know what the school wants? Who are you to decide what the school decide who the school decides to admit? Who are you? Who said that the test scores was everything? Did you say that? Are you in charge of Harvard? Do you know what Harvard's looking for? Because it seems like this man is trying to dictate, and basically he wants the cards to all be in his favor. And if he doesn't get his way, he's going to cry about it. He's going to whine and bitch and of course, blame black Americans. The singular minority group that he singles out in his lawsuit. Minority group includes at least 5 different other people, but black Americans are singled out. So anyway, that's all for today, guys. I enjoyed speaking to you. I enjoyed this, this platform, this podcast, and have a wonderful day.